Record it. Here we are. Hollywood is dead yet again. This time it's October, and all the ghouls are out. The girls and ghouls. We're not going to talk about the Munsters because everybody's talking about the Munsters. But because it's such a terrible movie and a failure on so many levels, I mean, like everybody says this is universally like a shit show. Like it's bad. It's just terrible all over.
Can't wait to not watch it.
I'm not going to watch this movie. But we wanted to talk about not the best horror films or franchises. We wanted to talk about the worst, right? Is that what the plan is?
Yeah, we're doing our it was quoted as top 5 overrated horror franchises, but I don't think we're going to put a number on it because I have a list of more than 5.
That's fine.
Overrated horror franchises.
I probably agree with all the ones that you listed because I can't really think of any else except for maybe Italian director movies. They're all overrated. I've seen a bunch of them. They suck. So, just letting you know, this is our episode dedicated to the terribleness of Hollywood and the terribleness of horror, which has always been a cheap way to make money, and Hollywood loves money, and they can burn in hell. Why didn't he go?
Sorry.
Hey, welcome to Hollywood is Dead. I'm your DJ Phoenix West.
This is Wolfman Jack, baby, talking about horror films.
All
right. So, Dick,
you want to do some cocaine? Yeah.
Here's a couple questions. Do we completely skim over like the straight to VHS era because they're all just going to be shitty?
Well, I think there's so many. Yeah, there's so many. But I mean, Puppet Master technically is kind of part of that, so I could say include Puppet Master. I think that's so iconic. I'll say that one,
list intact.
Yeah, I think that's fine because that's what horror is. A lot of bad horror are straight to video movies because they probably went in theaters like drive-ins and they just went straight to video. Honestly,
and you can say, as much as I love the first Ghostbusters, you could say as a series, maybe not the best.
I don't know. I like Ghostbusters 2. I don't have any problem with Ghostbusters 2.
I like 2. I like the new one. But I'm saying there's certain people that just hate all of them but the first one.
Well, no. There's a lot of people that hate the second one. Like I read all those articles. I'm just like,
and I don't
get it. I don't see why you hate that movie that much. Like I've seen worse sequels. Yeah. It's fun.
Not nearly as good as the first one, but it's fine. It's serviceable.
No, but it's still funny.
In there. There's some scenes I really love in there, just as much as the original. It's just overall as a movie, it's a little lost in the weeds.
Yeah, that's fine, but I think I quote that movie more than I quote the original Ghostbusters, honestly. And I've said that many a times.
Suck it in, boys, with the Ghostbusters.
Hairless pets. Weird. So you were in an alien's the alien booked you a room at the Paramus, Holiday Inn at the Paramus. It could have been the spaceship Peter to make it look like. I don't know, Peter. Well, that's what you need. How you trust the alien? It'll be the big lizard. Just funny shit. It
could have been the way she describes her voice. I can't be certain. It could have been.
But do you remember back in the day when she said Valentine's Day 2016 was the end of the world? And you always thought, is that going to be the end of the world? Back in the day before 2016 came and went like the wind.
But what did 2016 bring?
This is true. Actually, they were technically right. It did bring the end of the world, the end of the Ghostbusters.
Yeah, which is my world.
It was that terrible fucking awful movie.
No, I don't hate it as much as you do or everyone else, apparently. I hate the extended version. That one is fucking garbage. But the original movie, it's fine.
Hey, I saw it in theater. I gave it a chance. I didn't knock it until I saw it. And when I saw it, I was like, this is terrible. It's not good.
Yeah, I know I kind of watched it for what it is, which is not going to be good, because the first one is, this high point of my life, and which is sad to say, but it's true. And here we are, and I'm clearly not going to like it as much as the original, so I can't really hold it against that. So I watched it for what it is, which is people not shutting the fuck up over each other.
Yeah.
And that part annoyed me, but it's way worse in the extended version, which is what I watched first.
No, thank you. Yeah, no way.
So I watched the theatrical version second, and I go, "Oh, this is not nearly as bad." So I think
there you go. Yeah, that would help. Yeah.
I watched it in the right order.
So what would be on your list though for worst? Now you say franchise.
Yes.
Now, are you going to say a series of films, or just because sometimes a horror movie's so bad there's only one of them, and they didn't really make a franchise? So are you going to include like slasher films as a genre in general?
I didn't realize this is entirely on me. Okay.
No. I have my list too. I have a few.
Okay.
I just don't have that many because I was watching some movies and they're terrible.
For example, I'll just say this: I don't give a shit about any movie with a mummy in it.
Okay.
I don't think they're scary.
No.
I don't think I need to watch, and I'm not talking about like Brendan Fraser, The Mummy. Those have like some sort of comedic value.
Yeah, it's more Indiana Jones-esque movies.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm talking about like the original Mummy, and like, what do they have? The fucking son of the Mummy. Like, I don't even know what they did with those. But like any movie with a mummy, I don't give a fuck. So Universal, stop with the fucking mummies. I don't care. You don't need to do it in your dark universe. I know you're done with that anyway, but no need. They just come off as kind of like vaguely racist now when you have all the Egyptians coming in there. Oh, and like, yeah, I don't need it anymore.
Really?
Let's get to a serious one. I don't want to get to my number one worst. I just want to kind of talk around it. So I'll just say next is Resident Evil.
Yes, I would agree 100% with you.
How many fucking movies are there?
There's like 30.
Is there 6? Is there 7? Is there 7 movies?
There might be 7 movies, plus you have animated movies and you have a television show, a Netflix show, which was terrible.
I watched the first 2 or 3 episodes of that show.
Yeah.
The first episode is laughably bad. The second episode is confusingly bad. And I think I started the third one, but was getting sleepy, so I turned it off. But that one was starting to get like, okay, that's what they're doing. And then
I watched the last Resident Evil in Japan. Because 2016, I was in Japan to see my brother. I watched it. It was called something else there. That's actually a successful series in Japan because it's based on the video games huge there. But they call it like BioWare, so they call it something else. They don't call it Resident Evil because I don't think
BioWare is the name of the company.
It's called something else. It's called something specific. Let me look it up. In Japan, it's a different title, which is
Resident Evil title in Japan.
Yeah, what's it called?
It's called Biohazard.
Biohazard. Yeah, that's right. It's Biohazard like 7 or whatever. I was like, ugh. It was just as bad in Japan as it was in America. So, I saw it like a year before it came out because they released it in Japan first. Before they released.
But you remember we saw the second one in the theater?
Yeah, that was a shit show,
and it was so boring that I was angry. And then eventually we all started laughing like nonstop because at one point she drives the motorcycle through the church window like 3 stories up, and it's like, everyone's laughing. So everyone in the theater, like this is a regular movie audience, and nobody was not laughing. It was insane.
No, they just accepted it and it's like, fuck it, this movie's ridiculous. I want to watch it.
And it just went like budget. It's like the Twilight movies where you're like, why aren't you spending more money considering how much you're making off these movies? All the CG looks terrible. All the actors are garbage. And it's like a CW show. And you're like, you're making so much money off these movies, but you're spending none of it. It's like a Ponzi scheme. It's crazy.
I saw them all in theater.
Resident Evil or Twilight?
Resident Evil.
Twilight would be another one. That's kind of technically about horror movie aspects, but
that's more young adult
dollars on movies.
Twilight's more young adult romance. It's not. I don't.
While we're on the subject, I just thought I'd bring it up.
Right? Yeah, just shitty, cheap ass Ponzi scheme movies.
Cheap.
Yeah, like Adam Sandler movies. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on vacation in Hawaii. Let's make a movie.
An $80 million budget on a movie that should cost 10, and somehow everybody got paid $15 million a piece to be in it.
And they're lowballing how much they made off of it just so they can
absolutely
more money in. God damn. Paul W.S. Anderson met his wife there, And it's like, how did? Okay. Anyway, that's a terrible series, and that it apparently just will not end. It was a good video game series, and I don't need to see it anymore.
I don't know how you can't translate something that has material that's pre-written. It's like cut and paste. Why can't you just take this story from the game and just put it on screen?
I will say,
how hard is that?
Some of the games. I played the first 2 or 3.
Right.
There's not a lot of story to go around.
That's fine.
Instead, they created it's a universe, and you're just surviving in it. That's really it. But so they had to create their own story in this universe. So I kind of get it, but also you don't have to make it that stupid.
No,
it's stupid. They're stupid movies.
I think Silent Hill pulled it off beautifully as a video game into a movie.
Silent Hill benefited from that game just being about atmosphere.
That's
all it is, and that's all they had to capture. Anything beyond that, kind of cheesy, but that's all they had to capture.
A lot of it's good. I do like Silent Hill.
Resident Evil didn't even have that. They had the Umbrella Corporation, and they're like a secret organization that was destroying the world. That's all they had to go off, and it gets insane towards the end of the movies.
It gets to the point where they have micro cities underground doing tests of what the fucking the virus will do to people and population, so they could sell the virus to other countries. But yet, I thought the world was over. I thought the world ended. It's like the whole thing makes no sense.
And you got clone Alice's. It's nonsense at a certain point.
It's like it's like when Red Letter Media did their watch of it. How they went madly insane toward the middle. Like they watched all of them, or they watched them all except for maybe the last 2, because when it came out, the last 2 weren't out yet. But I think they just lost their minds, just being like, these movies are so ridiculous. You lose every sense of reality because they make no sense at all.
Yeah, it's nonsense, and good luck following a plot in those movies, because it's like, oh, she's dead in this one. Now she's imagining a child and with her husband, and it's like, but
and how many times can an actress come back to life in a movie? Because what's her name? The girl from Fast and Furious movies. She did that in Fast and Furious. Michelle Rodriguez. She comes back to the Resident Evil movies. Then she came back to the Fast and Furious movies after she was plainly dead, like clearly, unquestionably killed in those movies. But she comes back to start again. It's hilarious.
Yeah,
only she could have that career.
You know what other movie series that we've discussed before a long time ago has the same disregard for cohesion or canon is Puppet Master movies.
Absolutely.
The first one, fine movie. It's about puppets. The first one was a guy. Was that the one that had the hotel? Or was that the second one that did that? Okay, so the first one, Nazi dude made some puppets, buried him in a wall in the hotel. He
gets killed by the SS.
Oh no! In the first one, he kills himself.
Yes, he kills himself because the SS are
blows his own brains out because the SS is finding him.
Yeah.
Second one, it's nowadays. It's like the 90s or late
present
80s,
day.
90s.
Yeah,
present day. He's now Darkman.
Yes.
And he talks like this, and he's got the hat, and he's got like wrap over his face, and he's alive, and he's working on the puppet still. And it's like, but you just said, okay, well, I guess he survived. The third one is something like, or not the third one, but like the fourth or fifth one. He's like back in Germany, and he's being held captive, and it's
like
he died shot back then.
That's the third one.
Like,
the third one is the one with with Richard Lynch.
Yes,
where he plays the Nazi commander, and they attack Toulon, who's the toy maker. Yeah, it's just every movie is a revamp, and I think they stuck with the Nazis for some reason because it's just easier.
Why the Nazis?
Because it's easy.
Charles Band bought a bunch of Nazi uniforms. He's going to get all his money's worth.
Goddamn right.
Full Moon Bay paid for these uniforms. We're using them. Full Moon.
We're going to put them in subspecies. We're going to put them in the pendulum. We're going to put in the doll man. I don't give a fuck.
Evil Bones are Nazi now.
We're putting them. They're all Nazi uniforms.
Ginger Dead Man is a
whatever. Yeah,
Fuck you.
The Bong movie, the Night of the Living Bong movie with Gary Busey or Jake Busey. I'm sorry, forgive me.
See, they always give Lloyd Kaufman shit for being a hack director.
Yeah,
but at least he's fun. Charles Band is a hack director without being fun.
No, they're all terrible.
He has 4 ideas and will not stop making movies about those 4 ideas.
No, he can't
somehow keep the company going. I don't get the business model. Apparently, I don't have to.
The era of video where you could
still going. He's still doing them.
He's got a channel. He got a streaming channel, a full moon streaming channel. For God's sakes, he made that much material. I think it's like a side option for something that you pay for.
It's got to be like one of the Shudder additional add-ons for 4.5 cents a year.
Well, that's what it is. Yeah,
I don't know how else they would afford to be around at this point, because nobody's like, you got to see the new Evil Bong movie. It's Evil Bong 64. He's fighting a stone piece of toast. It's amazing. Like, who the fuck is I've never heard one person mention any of these movies in interactions or message forums or anything with regard to movies. You
know what I want to do to Charles Band?
First thing tomorrow morning, I'm going to punch Lenny in the back of the head.
That's what I want to do to Charles Band.
Yeah.
As he's drinking coffee.
Another movie series I have listed. I do have a question mark after this because we did mention Jaws.
Right. I have another follow-up to that. So yes, if the first movie's good, the rest are bad, it definitely counts as a weak franchise. You can say,
but are we calling that a horror movie franchise? Is the real question.
That's the other thing.
That's more suspense, action suspense for me. But there are people who consider it as a horror franchise. If so, first movie's great. The rest of them are fucking garbage.
They're garbage. Jaws 2 sucks. Jaws 3D sucks. Jaws 4 is funny, but it sucks. And it bought Michael Caine a summer house. Good for him.
There's movies. There's the first one's great. The rest of them, there's Michael Caine in a seaplane. That's all you need to know.
That's it.
And the shark knows the family and will hunt you down.
So does that put it in the realm of supernatural because the shark is self-aware and remembers who to kill and hunts them all down? Does he go on land to double check the address?
Yeah.
It's like I would love to see the shark walking and it's like knocks on the door. I hate to bother you. Is this the home of the child of Roy Scheider? Oh no, that's that guy's 2 doors down. Oh, forgive me. Enjoy dinner.
Just 1,000 apologies.
I'm sorry. Thank you so much.
He's very polite to anyone who's not in his family.
Exactly. You didn't kill my father, so you're fine. I'm not going to bother you.
And he's like, "Oh, you are the son of Roy Scheider."
Throws his head in the blender. But I would say
I can't believe he fell for this.
For that,
get a little tie on.
Well, that was an SNL skit back in the 70s.
Yeah.
Who is it? Land Shark. Oh! And that was funny. That one
because it was so stupid. But this is a real movie.
Yeah, this exists in real life with Mario Van Peebles and Michael Caine, and the guy that
Mario Van Peebles was like the stoner pilot.
He was the reggae guy. He was the Jamaican co-sailor because they had like a fucking pirate ship, and they killed Jaws with the mast pole or something, or not even a mast pole. It's like the pole sticking out. I don't even know what you call that. The stern, the stern pole. I don't know. But using that same logic with the first movie's good, but the rest of them are terrible. Jeepers Creepers.
Okay.
The first movie is decent, but the rest of them are fucking terrible.
I was just talking about this yesterday with my wife because we've seen all of them together.
You see the new one?
First one, fine movie. Second movie, okay.
Yeah.
It's different enough on a bus to get some kids. Third one, off the fucking rails like a Simpsons sketch.
It's nuts.
Because a creature who hibernates for 23 years at a time in a little cocoon, hanging up in a guy's barn, somehow had the time to build an entire entire battle tank / truck. And I'm like, how did he build? Who built this for him? It's got like a harpoon that comes on the back and pulls the kid.
He's got his people.
Did he hire like the guys from like Trick My Truck before he went into hibernation again?
He had to find those Mad Max characters and they had to build him some stuff. Immortan Joe built him his truck.
Yeah. He's like, what do they say before they spray paint their mouths? Like,
chrome,
witness
shiny,
me!
Witness, shiny and chrome.
Yeah.
The V8. Worship the V8. Now, I tell you, that's a fucking movie to watch on a big screen TV with a big loudspeaker.
Yes. I would love it if you saw Jeepers Creepers in the third one and he had that dude like bouncing around. Like that would be like
the third one. But did you see the new one? Because they just the remake happened. They remade.
That's why we're talking about it.
So you watched that or you didn't watch it?
No, I don't know if it's out yet.
Because it's awful. Everybody says it's fucking terrible.
A 3.5 when I looked at it yesterday. Yeah. 3.2 with 3,700 reviews.
Wow, that's bad.
It must be out. We haven't seen it yet. Maybe that's what we'll do tonight.
Yeah, a lot of people. I think it's straight to streaming movie, so it's probably like a $6 rental or something.
But those movies are all the fuck over the place, and it's kind of like become its own thing. Do you know another series that I will mention is it's a terrible series. Even the first one I don't like, but the latest one I really enjoyed is the Wrong Turn series.
Oh, okay.
Eliza Dushku,
right?
In the first one, legit movie, not great, cheap, fine. It's fine. The sequels are all pure garbage. There's like 5 of them.
Are there really that many of them?
They're all like made for $20. Jesus. Like bad. Wow. There's like one that's in the backwoods of like the Appalachians. It's so bad. The new one though, from like a year or two ago, maybe 2, 3, somewhere around there. It's like a legit movie. And I was watching it. I'm like, oh, let's watch this. And I was turning it on. I'm like, I got a problem. I actually really think this movie is actually well done.
Just because this guy knows what he's doing.
It has one of the funniest endings I've ever seen, and it's not a making fun of it funny. It's like and I was like, it wouldn't be funny if it ended and it ended like that. I love this movie. It's just called Wrong Turn. I think they remade it, but it's actually good. I would say watch that one.
Right. Now, would you argue? Okay, remember the period of film in Hollywood where they kept remaking the horror films from the 50s? They did 13 Ghosts. They did House of Haunted Hill. They did House of Wax. House of Wax was terrible. Now this was before Blumhouse. I'd call these like the MTV remakes for some reason. Like I feel like they're very MTV related because they'd always premiere the trailers on MTV or there's MTV style editing, and it was just very of that time.
They all had the new metal in the soundtrack.
Yeah, and it was like.
They all had, let's clearly throw in one black dude.
Yes.
Scream 2 was kind of like the start of that.
Yeah, I would say Scream 2, started that a little bit. Because, Scream 2, you have the opening, it's Omar Epps, and it's Will Smith's wife, Jada Pinkett.
And he gets stabbed in the ear through the bathroom stall.
or like in Scary Movie 2, or Scary Movie where you stab with a dick in the ear.
Yeah.
Which I still think that Scary Movie 1 is kind of funny. I give Scary Movie a lot of credit. I thought that one was pretty funny when it came out. I enjoyed it. Scary Movie 2 I did not like.
Which one had Chris Elliott with the little
Scary Movie 2.
David Cross. Okay.
Scary Movie 2. And
I only watched David Cross was in it.
Yeah, I didn't like that one. And then I didn't watch the other. I think I saw Scary Movie 3, but I didn't watch the rest because they just got more. They basically left Keenan Ivory Wayans behind and went with the Zucker brothers, basically. They went more like, I think David Zucker did one of them.
And it somehow didn't raise the Wayans stock. It brought down the Zucker brothers stock.
Yeah, which was interesting. Kind of I love the Wayans brothers, but the Wayans brothers like followed this up with White Chicks and like a few other bad movies, like Little Man. Like those were pretty bad. Like it's like Norbit territory bad. Yeah. You know those count as horror movies? The Eddie Murphy failures in the 2000s.
Pluto Nash is a horror movie.
Pluto Nash is bad. Norbit's bad. Nutty Professor 2 is awful. That's one of the
good,
worst sequels ever made. Bowfinger's great. I love Bowfinger.
Underrated movie. Nobody gives a shit about it.
Bowfinger's
Let's get back to
horror
movies.
Sorry, yeah. Well, those are horror. Norbit's a horror movie. I'm sorry, it's bad.
But I really will suggest the new Wrong Turn movie.
Okay.
Legit entertaining.
Yeah.
Because I expected the worst thing ever, and it's like it turns out it's like about a cult, and it was fast. Like for that kind of movie, fascinating.
Would you
anyway
put Paranormal Activity movies into this category?
Oh, would I put them in it? No, because they're all the same.
Bad franchise, or but a bad
franchise. I would just say bland franchise. I wouldn't even say bad. I don't think it ever hits that peak of like bad. It just like a big flat line, like someone's dead.
Right.
I don't like. I know you say you like the first one, but
I like the first one in practice. Like I appreciate this history, and I appreciate how that movie was a little thing that little engine that could, and it just got bigger and bigger with time, and it became this phenomenon that led to the horrible phenomenon, which again could be considered on this list, the genre of found footage films. They're all terrible except for maybe 2 or 3. There's 2 or 3 good ones.
2000s.
And they're the worst. I mean, Blair Witch started it 1999, but it didn't really take off until Paranormal Activity, which was like 2009.
Because then you got Wreck.
2010.
You got,
I think
the VHS movies I do enjoy. So I'll give.
Well, that was later. That was like 2012.
I'm found footage movies while we're here.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
I like VHS. Some of it.
Some of them.
I like the Sacrament.
Yeah, I didn't watch that, but
movie.
I like T West or whatever his name is.
Ty West is hit or miss. When he misses, he very much misses. But I actually do like that movie.
He's got a couple of good movies.
Did
he do the guest? Did he
No.
do the guest? Who did the guest?
That's
I forgot.
Yeah, it's blinking on me here.
Look it up.
It's not Wingard.
Is it not Wingard? It's one of those guys. It's that group.
Yeah, there's that group of guys and the guest. That was. Oh, it is Wingard. Okay, Wingard.
There you go. Yeah, Wingard. I thought so. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, he did a really good job of that movie, though.
Yes, he did.
And I believe he's also in the Sacrament, Adam.
Yeah, I think so.
He plays the cameraman. Anyway, Sacrament I really enjoyed. The Guest is just great, like way better than the Sacrament. But
they love The Guest. The Guest is great.
I like horror movies that you watch and going, here we go, another shitty horror movie. But I'm ready to make fun of it, and you're like, oh, this is a good movie. Like the Sacrament was like that for me. I'm ready to make fun of it. The new, like I mentioned, the new Wrong Turn movie. I'm like, this is gonna be garb. Oh, I actually like this. Oh shit.
Yeah.
Like this. Every once in a while, you get a movie like that.
Well, I'll save this for the list for the good horror movies. But just recently, a lot of decent horrors come out in the last couple of years, and one of the better ones is Barbarian. That movie was great. Barbarian was a fantastic horror film. That was like, wow, that was really refreshing and fun, and it was like, okay, I can get behind this guy. And it was the guy that started Whitest Kids You Know. So I guess he's a pretty good filmmaker. Go figure. And we'll talk about that movie. We'll go into detail on that one later because it's a good movie. We're talking about bad movies right now.
Did Justin Long make up for Horns?
You mean Tusk?
Horns is an actual fun movie with
Daniel Radcliffe. Yeah,
I like that movie.
Well,
did he make up for Tusk?
Yeah, he did because I hate Tusk. Tusk is terrible, but he's great. He's great in Barbarian. He's great.
That one joke you told me in that movie sounds fucking funny.
That was that I died. I thought that was beautiful. That was a great bit. But that was good. But bad. Okay? Poltergeist. First one's a masterpiece. The rest of the franchise is shit. Though I think Poltergeist 2 is probably okay. But I don't know. I think Poltergeist 2 kind of sucks.
I haven't seen them since I was very little. I remember the third one had that girl in a lot of mirrors. Heather O'Rourke in a bunch of mirrors.
No, it's terrible. I watched it. I rewatched it.
Yeah, that's all I remember.
It's terrible.
I watched it when it came out. That was it.
It's terrible, and then the remake is terrible. So I feel like it's never coming back. That's a franchise that's never going to come back. But it is I would consider that kind of the bottom of the barrel horror franchises.
Well, it's right there with the Amityville Horror because the first one's okay.
Right, yeah.
And then it was like
30
a
of them.
couple failed sequels, and then there's like 17 failed TV movies. One of them's called Dollhouse.
And like, Ryan Reynolds did 2005, the remake of Amityville Horror, and nobody saw it.
That one's like, okay. It's constantly on like HBO or one of those channels.
Fuck, you know, the first 20 years of the 21st century sucked because all we had was found footage and torture porn movies for like the first 10, 15 years of horror of this century. Because it was Saw. Every fucking Halloween was Saw movie came out. And then after that, it was every Halloween a found footage movie came out. And now it's like every Halloween, it's a remake of Halloween the last 3 years.
True.
It's like, God damn it.
They're finishing. Oh, Halloween is clearly my number one worst franchise. I was saving it. We got a couple more.
Yeah.
But should we wait on Halloween or just discuss it now that we're here?
Well, I don't know, because that's a really in-depth. You got to go into detail on that one because a lot of people love that series.
We only got 15 minutes left. Let's discuss it. My other ones were The Grudge and The Ring. Just like I told you, I hate those genres where it's just torture that person, the innocent person, for doing nothing, and then they all died and they're cursed no matter. Even if they survive, they're dead in the sequel.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I fucking hate that. I don't find it interesting. I just find it like torture porn, like you mentioned. Just torture this person. No, they're dead. Okay, bye.
Right.
What the fuck was the point of that?
I appreciate The Ring with Naomi Watts 2002.
I think it's a good one. Filmmaking wise.
I like that one, but I can see your point of it. Like, I know you don't like those existential dread movies where it's like there's nothing you can do. Yeah. You're fucked. There's nothing to, and there's really no point for your curse because it's a stupid curse. It has nothing to do with anything. You just happen to walk.
The Grudge is
you walk into the house, and then you're fucked forever.
The Ring. I watched the tape.
Right.
Now I gotta die for it. Like it just.
Right. Yeah.
I think the problem is for me, they're actually not badly made movies. Like the first Grudge movie, I actually enjoy is a watch. I like watching it.
Yeah,
but
there's some good scares in it. But and I agree.
First movie, I think Gore Verbinski did a really good job with it.
Yeah.
Just anything beyond that surface level stuff is I just fucking hate it.
But again, with Poltergeist, the first one's really good, but the subsequent sequels are garbage. Like The Ring 2, Ring, they're all bad. The Grudge sequels are all terrible. So I would say those are terrible 4 franchises.
Yes, that's why I have them on here because The Grudge 3 makes me laugh because at the very end, this is like a direct to VHS movie or DVD at this time.
Yeah.
They finally get we're going to find the curse. And then while they're trying to get rid of the curse, they finally get rid of the curse of the original Grudge. By doing so, her sister dies on accident.
Right.
He's like, oh, I finally got rid of her. She's dead. And then behind him, you see the sister stand up as the Grudge and kill him. And I was like, okay. That was something.
Well, one of the worst ones was the aunt who was talking on the phone with the girl in Japan in America on a bus stop. She talks to the girl, and all of a sudden she turns around, and the Grudge girl's on the bus stop going, and he kills her. It's like, why?
It was because
she made
the
a phone
girl
call.
in the second one, Amber Tamblyn, is there. The girl from the original one moves next door to her, and it attaches herself through next door.
Was that what it was?
Yeah, I just rewatched it, and I was like, what the fuck? That's what I was trying to follow it. I watched the TV show for The Grudge, the Ju-on TV show. It is nonsense. I couldn't follow it at all. Yes, on Netflix. Fucking terrible.
Is it Japanese?
Yeah, it's Japanese. I'm watching it, and I'm trying to follow it. There's some interesting visual stuff that Japanese horror movies always have, but I was like, I cannot follow this story at all. It's all over the place. It's all muddled.
You know what? You can argue Japanese horror remakes are all bad.
They're all bad.
The Eye, the Woods
version of both of those.
Yeah, the Eye, the Woods, Shudder. Shudder, the one with the pics, that's bad. Pulse is terrible. Like all the remakes of Japanese horror movies are terrible, American versions.
So that we can't capture.
No,
part of what makes horror movies is the budget and the means they have to do it with. Because those are all like cheap movies.
Yeah.
But it makes the scariness better. And you have like Sarah Michelle Gellar and her beautiful hair and makeup, and you're like, and you have the girl who's clearly lit. And it's like I can see her walking toward her. Like it just takes away a lot of it.
I see the dolly tracks.
Yeah, it's too much light and too much effort made into it, and you're like, horror. That's not how horror works. Cheaper the better. A lot of the times.
Yeah.
Like It Follows has the most basic storyline. Like you don't ever see the villain because it constantly changes, and it works. It's a cheap movie.
It Follows one of the best horror movies in the last 10 years. Easily top 5 best horror film in the last 10 years.
Well, we're going to discuss our top 10 horror movies maybe next week. I don't know when, but
it's
on there.
Oh yeah.
But
Halloween.
Yes.
So Halloween 1. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan. I think it's fine. I don't care. But I get why people love the first one. And the second one, fine. It's not awful. It kind of makes sense. But it starts to get into the realm of 80s slasher titty flicks, where it's just like, oh, there's tits and there's blood, and that's the movie. Congratulations. And I mean, Halloween 3 doesn't really count because it's its own movie, and we enjoyed that one kind of.
Halloween 3 is, I like it.
Yeah,
but it has nothing to do with the Halloween series. So
it's its own thing.
Yeah.
And then if anybody wants to see our review of that, go to Loitering in Wonderland.
B-Movie Battle.
B-Movie Battle with our friend Adam. The last movie we watched with him, basically. I think.
Sorry, that's two shows I've covered that movie on. B-Movie Battle episode 3, and then we also did it on
John Carpenter. That's right.
John Carpenter review. We did that.
Yeah.
Last episode with Adam.
That was the last episode with Adam, yeah. Because we wanted to watch that, and that was a joy to watch with him because he loves that movie.
It was a good last movie we got to watch with him.
That was fun. And then, but Halloween 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and the one with Busta Rhymes, and all the subsequent remakes. Yes, with Tyra Banks and Busta Rhymes.
The only Halloween movies I don't know that well are 4 and 5. 4 has no Michael Myers, right?
No. 4 and 5
doesn't.
4 and 5 is the new trilogy. Because 4, 5, and 6 basically became its own trilogy, but they fucked it up with 5. So they had 4 is actually not bad, but then 5 fucks it up so terribly that it wrecks the 4th one. So it kind of just falls apart.
First 2 solid movies. I like the second one. I like the Dean Cundy cinematography.
Yeah,
and John Carpenter did some of the cinematography as well. I like that movie. It's the story wise. You know, if you don't like that she's his sister, I get it. Whatever. Yeah. I like the movie though. I like watching it.
Yeah.
They spend way too much time in the hotel and the fire and everything, but whatever. 3, its own thing. 4, is that the one where it ends with the little girl?
Yeah.
And the mask. Okay, so 5, is that about the little girl?
Yes, because what happens is 4. I watched these with Adam again on his show. We watched 4 and 5 together. I'd never seen them, so last 2 years ago was the first time I ever watched them. And the 4th one is the little girl is basically related to Michael Myers somehow, and at the end of 4, she becomes Michael Myers. So she kills her sister. Her foster sister, whatever, and Donald Pleasance comes to the house with the gun. He goes, "No!" And she has that knife and the mask on. There's blood all over her. And then you cut to the 5th movie. It's all a dream. It was all a dream. God. It's a dream she has, and she wakes up.
So even though in the second movie, Donald Pleasance is engulfed in flames.
Yes.
4th movie comes around. The next movie he's in, tiny little scar.
He's got a little bit of burn.
Yeah, a little bit, but
I looked into his eyes, and all I saw was black eyes, the devil's eyes. I knew that he was evil.
He monologues to everyone.
Yes, wonderful.
And in the 6th one, he's dying and then dies, and then Paul Rudd's just there going, like, what am I doing?
I still have I have the producer's cut of that movie. I still haven't watched it. It's a different cut of the movie.
I haven't seen that.
Which it's rare. Like, it's very rare. I got it for $1 at the thrift store. It goes for like $60 online. It's like really rare. But I haven't watched it. I'm curious, but it's such a bad movie. And it makes Michael Myers like he's basically a Celtic cult monster. Like, that's what he ends up being. About. Well, that's what I mean. Yeah, it kind of ties into the third one. Like, they're trying to tie that in for some reason. And it just comes off. It's so bad. It's so terrible.
I want to watch that producer's cut, though, because it's got to be better than
I doubt it. I don't think it is.
We only have 4 minutes left, but I will say, people don't like, if you're of a certain age, if you're young, you don't realize how big Halloween 7 was. H2O, that was a huge movie.
Yeah, 1998.
Huge.
That was a big one.
It had like Josh Hartnett and Jamie Lee Curtis was coming back, and I'm back in the Halloween role.
Yeah,
and because it was just after Scream, and it was huge movie. And then they spent $0 following that up, and Jamie Lee Curtis gets killed in the opening scene of the next
one. Which was
she gets killed right away.
Yeah,
and she gets killed just the way that Sarah Michelle Gellar does at the in Grudge 2.
Oh, okay.
Jumps off a building and dies.
Right. She's like, "Goodbye, Michael," and like they have like that music swell, and I've never seen it, but I saw that part because I watched it on YouTube. Because I was like, I didn't know she died in it, and I watched it. Oh, that's how they got rid of it. How sad of a character! Like, that's her arc. Is she dies horribly. Her whole life is shit, and she's in a mental institution, and she jumps off the roof, and that's her end. That's how the character ends.
Yeah. They do that one. They go, oh, okay, we're done with that. And then Rob Zombie stumbles along and goes, I can one-up you. Oh, shit, I fucked up. Oh, shit, I fucked up even harder with the second one.
I think he was coming from a nice place. Like, I agree. I think he was trying to do something different. And it just, because Rob Zombie is just, he has his style, and it's just, he never will let it go. And I think he shouldn't write his own material. If he could direct somebody else's material, I think it'd be a better movie. He just can't write the script.
And keep your fucking wife off of it.
She's gotta be fucking gone. Don't bring her on set.
Look, I have
She's
nothing
nowhere to be seen.
I'm so sick of seeing her in your movies. Like, I get it. I get it, man.
You love her. It's wonderful. I think it's very nice of you.
Yes,
it's
sweet.
It's a beautiful love story. But
and I think we both love Rob Zombie as a person. Like, he's hilarious.
Oh, I love him. He's great. Yeah, I love him.
I do not want to see your wife in a movie again, man.
Please
stop, man.
And the Munsters. Everybody
just seems so desperate, like trying to keep her relevant.
Just why?
She's not out here doing other work with any other director.
No.
So you're keeping her afloat.
There's a reason. Because she sucks. She's not very good at it. She's a terrible actress. She's gonna show up. He's gonna put her in panties and make you all think about her sexually. I don't get the director thing. We're talking about directors that do that with their wives. I don't get it. But anyway, and then he failed. And they brought it back now. Halloween is in its 5th incarnation, and it's about to be done here. Halloween
really
dies
shortly here.
Halloween ends, and the best part is, I guess it's so bad, and the word on the street, it's so bad, they're just going to dump it, and they're going to release it on Peacock the same day in theater.
Yeah.
So they're just like, fuck, it's terrible. Just watch it.
Well, the first one is okay. Second one, oh fuck,
terrible.
That is awful.
Terrible.
Like, I'm pretty forgiving when it comes to these kind of movies, because the worst it's going to be is like, oh, that wasn't very good. But the second one, I was like, oh, I'm so bored. I don't care.
You have to remember that was released. That got pushed back a year because of COVID.
Yeah.
So Halloween Kills was supposed to come out. Yeah, a year, and Halloween Ends. God damn it, Halloween Ends was supposed to come out last year, because everything got pushed forward. So I think they made enough money with the first movie to be like, these movies suck. If we make $10 million on them, we made it our profit, because the first one made so much money. We're good. We don't care.
David Gordon Green's like,
well, no, next year the Exorcist trilogy is coming out. That's the next one. He's doing the Exorcist.
That's another horror series we should talk about
with Jason Blum.
We don't have time. We got to go. All right, bye.
See you in hell.
Fuck you, everybody. Good night.
So the podcast is literally going to end with "fuck you, everybody, good night" because I did not have any time. I was like, "Oh shit, look at the clock."
That's fine. Do I hit end broadcast?
Yeah, I mean,
I'll just end it right now.
Yeah.
Fuck you, everybody. Good night. It's ended. Yeah.